That's PM. Good evening, Brew. So I'm just setting up brew day for tomorrow morning, and I just wanted to show you something quickly. Now I'm having an issue with grains getting into the boil, and you don't want that. I've read that could increase the tannins in the beer, which creates astringency. I haven't actually noticed that, but I don't want grains in the beer anyway, so you know, it annoys me when I'm starting to boil and I can see a few grains popping up. So I've got a little solution, let me show you. Now, this is actually the first time I'm doing this, so whether it's going to work or not, we'll soon find out and I'll let you know. As you know, the grain father has this overflowing pipe. The grains do sneak in through that little hole down into, where are we, that little hole. I do pop that on there. Thank you very much to Steve Garçon who found this for me, and it does work, but I think they do sneak in under, that does float a bit and they sneak in underneath, I think, or the bottom plate is quite flexible at the moment. It's bendy, and it is quite hard to get this in and get it right to the bottom. What I do is I spray some Star San, I water it and get it in, and it does fit, but I think the grains are sneaking in here, or maybe they're just sneaking in the hole. The holes aren't that small really, but anyway, little muslin bag, that's what it looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a go. I'll let you know if it works. Ooh, bit of mash action for you. No, I'm not going to do the comment. It's very tempting, but I won't do it. So I'm just mashing in here. This is, there you can see, look, Maris Otter, nicely stirred. Shouldn't be any clumps in there. Does everyone else do this? I always put the base malt in first before I put the others in. It seems logical, but maybe people do it the other way around. I don't know. No idea. Probably doesn't make any difference at all. Look at this. So this is the first time I've ever used these. These are flaked oats, obviously, but they don't look how I thought they were going to look, if I'm honest, because I was expecting them to look like this. This is porridge oats. Now, they're not the same thing, are they? Not really. These are the Irish porridge oats. Very healthy, recommend them. Good for you. So we've got flaked oats down there. We got a bit of carapils. Over here I've got some wheat malt, looking nice and wheaty. It's pale wheat malt, finely crushed. Munich there in the bottom, 250. So there you go. So I'm just going to do a bit of mashing now. Catch you in a bit. On the 5th attempt, managed to get the bloody plate in. Such a pain getting that in, because the little silicone always comes off. Anyway, so that was what I was on about, the little hole here, overflow thing. Grain does sneak in there. So what I do, thanks to Steve Garçon, I've got this little thing here, and I pop that on there. I think it might be too big for this. I think what happens is when the water comes in, that might float a little bit and the grains sneak in underneath. But what I do is I do put it on a very slow flow to prevent that from happening, because I have before put it right on And yeah, that really does get up there. Add grain, done that. Press set to start the mash. 67, that's what I'm aiming for, and that's where I am. Good, good. So this is what I was on about with the flow. Play about with that. I'm not going to give any suggestion of where you should put that. It's all down to how it flows. You can work that out yourselves. Because right now nothing's coming out, is it? Pump is on. Switch is on. Is anything coming out? Yeah, you can't see it because of this. Shit, that's hot. You just have to trust me, that is flowing, and I'm gonna slow that down right now. So yeah, 67. The moment I turned the camera off, that happened, look. So that's what bloody happens sometimes. The plate's just falling on its side, and so that's what happens, look. That was after literally 10 seconds. So I'm gonna have to fix that now. We are back. So that might have been my fault. I didn't push the plate down right to the grain. I like to leave a little bit of a gap. However, because I was showing you this flow, it's your fault. I had that on full, and I think the flow of the water just pushed the plate down at an angle, and I made a right old fucking mess. So, oh dear. Okay, so we are back here. We are back recirculating the wort. So we're now at 66, 52 minutes left. You see that temperature there, 65. I want 67. So the heat will come back on in a sec and try and get that back up to 67. There is an issue that I have with the Grainfather where the target might be 66 and that little bugger goes to 68 and you can't cool it down. I don't know why anyone wears those, why anyone dresses their Grainfathers with the coat, because it keeps the temp. I'm saying all this and it's bloody 65 now, isn't it? So stop moaning. Okay, it's all good. 66, it'll be at 67 in a minute. But what I mean is the heat isn't on yet, and in a minute that'll trigger and come on, and that'll go to 69. I know it. I know it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all good. 51 minutes to go. All that talking about porridge oats, I thought I'd make some for my breakfast. Commentator's curse doesn't seem to be going above 66. But that's alright. I was aiming for 67 for a bit of sweetness, but 66, that's fine. Absolutely fine. 41 minutes to go. Target temp. Yeah. So it looks like she's holding the temp. All good, all good. I'll stop moaning now because that's perfect. What more can you ask? 33 minutes to go. So, 20 minutes to go. Heat sparge water now. So, I don't know if I've showed you this before. This is my sparge water heater. And this is actually the one bought from the malt miller. Has a little tap here. Better not turn it on. Switch that on. Actually, I haven't plugged it in yet. So, and what it is quite good actually, because what I've done is I've hooked it up to a brewer's best friend, the Inkbird 308. So switch that on. Doesn't look good on camera, but that actually says 75 0.5 was where I always aim for. So switch that on, turn that up to 80, and as you can see there, you put the little temp probe in there. That means I can just leave it now, because as you all know how this works. That will settle around 75 and I don't have to worry about it overheating. Which also means it's 10 to 11 now, so this here, I've got 18 minutes to go, so it's about now I go and take a shower because I'm in my pyjamas right now. So I'll see you in a bit. So that's gone to 75 and now the heat's popped back on. Don't really need it to though. So this is what I do. Pour some water in there. Got this lovely thick silicone tubing, and eventually let me turn it up a bit more. Here we go. So what I like to do is push that down a bit. Didn't want it to go that much. So get that just above the grain, and then you want about an inch of water on the top there when you're doing your fly sparging. So I'll be there eventually. Yeah, a bit of sparge action for you. Ooh. Okay. Brew day! It's a brew day! Right, so today I've been brewing a New England IPA. This is actually my first ever New England IPA. Don't know why I've never done one before. I think when they first came around I was still quite new brewing and I wasn't sure, wasn't confident enough to do one, and now when I look at it I think, meh, easy. Hopefully. Oh, steamy glasses. So what I've actually done, I was going to brew an IPA actually, grain beer I put together a while ago, and I was looking at it yesterday thinking, not so sure about this, and then I was watching Hapless Ginger Brew the other day, and I really loved the colour that he achieved from his New England IPA Juicy Bars. So I asked Graham, and he kindly gave me his grain bill, so I've copied it, completely copied it. Thank you very much, Graham. Let me run through it quickly. Marisota 400, Marisota 4000, 4 kg. We've got 250 grams of Munich, 250 grams of Carapils, 500 grams of pale wheat malt, and now for the first time ever I'm using flaked oats, 500 grams. So pretty awesome. What else do you need to know? Now I have made one cock up. I completely forgot that. DWB. I completely forgot to put it in the mash. Just remembered just at the end of the mash. So I put it in during mash out. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Maybe I didn't take a pH reading, so I'm guessing it would have been quite acidic. C'est la vie. Maybe that's a good thing for New England IPAs. I should have read that. Maybe that's a good thing. Who knows? But who cares? It's gonna be alright. So just taking a pre-boil. So look at the colours, really light colour. So I'm hoping that's how it should be. And then when you put the hops in during dry hop, it gets all hazy. Who knows? Yeah, so the hops, I didn't want it too hoppy. I don't know if other people have the same opinion about New England IPAs. Is you drink them and initially you're like, oh yeah, it's so nice, so juicy. And then you get about halfway in and you're like, there's too many hops in this. And it does get a bit dry in your mouth. And I didn't want that. Probably will get that. That's probably from the oats, not the hops. But anyway, hopefully I don't get that. So I've been a bit conservative with the hops. Ooh, I hate that word. So I've put only 5 grams of Admiral because I had to use some up. I have to get rid of this Admiral. I would have preferred to use Magnum, but I've got a fresh packet of Magnum. I didn't want to open it. And then we've got 5-minute edition, which is actually in 5 minutes. So I need to hurry this up. 15 grams of Citra, 15 grams of Mosaic, 15 grams of Simcoe. Now, I was really scared about the IBUs. I wanted to keep it below 30, so that's why I've only got 15 of each. Would have liked to have more than that. Doesn't look right, but maybe it's going to be okay. And then flame out, 80 degrees. We're going to have 30 grams of each, Citra, Mosaic and Simcoe. Dry hop, same 3 again. So I'm going to wait for the high closing. Whether that's 24 hours or 48 hours, I'm going to have to keep my eye on this. Because usually I just listen to the bubbles, bloop, bloop. And I've got my tilt and I usually just leave it for 2 weeks. If I'm dry hopping, then I might dry hop 3 days before I rack it. So I'm gonna have to pay a bit more attention this time. Have a little peek and try and get the hops in at high Krausen. So we got 30 grams of each, and then maybe on the 5th day, I think that's how it works. What have I got? Can't remember now. Oh yeah, so I'm just trying to use up the hops really. 30 grams Simcoe, 25 Citra, 25 Mosaic. So I'm using Will Jones, 90 gram packets of Mosaic and Simcoe, and I've got a Homebrew company 100 gram packet of Simcoe. Mosaic and Citra, I meant the other. Yeah, so now, as for the grain, getting into that grain further, I didn't actually take any footage of the muslin bag, but there was a lot of hops in that. A lot of grain got in underneath, which is quite worrying. Quite worrying, guys, who use these. Now, I don't know how it gets in there. So I did actually collect. So let me say there was probably about 5 grams worth, I don't know. And I did get a little bit of footage. So up here you can see where the grain is in the tube, circulation tube. There's like 4 or 5, what we got in there? Yeah, there's 4 or 5 bits of grain. How does it get in there? I don't know. So I'm gonna give this a thorough clean. That's my gripe with these grain fathers, is with the old system. I just put it in the bathtub, put the water on, give it a good old scrub, very liquid, boom. took 20 minutes maybe. With this, I have to spend at least an hour cleaning it at the end because I'm really worried about that pump. Okay, I never had a pump before, but I'm really worried about the pump getting clogged up. So I give it a thorough clean with the Grainfather official cleaner stuff. Yeah. I think I've talked too much here, so I'll see yous in a bit. Oh, I didn't tell you my efficiency. Aiming for 1051 and I got 1048, so 76.3%. Brew day's done. A couple of things to note. This is for myself. I completely forgot the bloody yeast nutrient. I didn't put a Proflock in because it's New England IPA. And as for the numbers, I think I've only got about 21. I was aiming for 22.3. And the original gravity is, it's really hard to tell with all the foam, but the original gravity is 10.55. Target was 10.59, so near enough. I'm actually happy with 10.55 because I reckon I'm going to drink this quite quickly. It's going to go in a keg, so that's probably a good thing. Now, I want to say a massive thanks to Graham for giving me this grain bill. I feel like the camera's in the wrong place. Right. Check out that colour. Can you see it properly? It is looking yellow and it is looking hazy already. And it already has a kind of a New England IPA aroma about it. Oh, so I think this is going to be a success. I won't make this a grain to glass video because it's too long already, I bet. So I will do a follow-up, let you know how this has turned out. I think I'm going to rename this New England IPA V1 because I think I'm going to rebrew this next. Because I don't know, I just really fancy it. I really fancy having a few more of these. So yeah, so the yeast I forgot to mention. Here's my bowl of stars. So I didn't, like I said, I only put this recipe together yesterday evening, so I don't have any fancy Vermont or that imperial juicy yeast. God, that looks good. So I'm just going to go with 2 packets of SO4. Maybe that'll do the job. Don't know. Who knows? So I'm just going to go pitch the yeast